Welcome to A Psychopath's Guide to Enlightenment. I'm Blair Black. I'm a psychopath. And today I'd like to talk about modern life. Life in the 21st century is like living in a video game that somebody else has already beaten. We've come to consciousness among these empty levels, born lost and left to wander, wondering, what exactly the point of all this is, because it certainly isn't obvious. The game was nature versus everybody, and the point was to survive and reproduce, and our ancestors, they fucking won. They killed all the bad guys, they beat all the bosses, they explored the whole map, and eventually they freed us from nature. And once they were free, they drew a clear line, and on this side was nature, and on this side was civilization. And once we crossed into civilization, we never fucking looked back. The point of life and nature for everything is to survive and reproduce. But once we defeated nature, survival and reproduction, they haven't really been a problem anymore. Well, actually, they're still a problem, but now they're just a problem in the opposite direction. And now we are so fucking far removed from nature that there's actually people out there who think that too many people are surviving for too long and reproducing too much. So much so, in fact, that the leading cause of death today is abortion. In whatever type of way you might feel about abortion, it certainly is interesting to note that what was once the point of life is now the leading cause of death. And it's also interesting, at least to me, to wonder what might happen to a species that has become inverted to that degree. Either way, I think it's a pretty clear signal that the original point of life has been achieved, and now you're basically on your own to do what you can with what remains. What I'm really trying to say is that you were born into a time and a place and a situation that nature never foresaw. And now you're essentially a polar bear at the zoo or a killer whale at SeaWorld. Because just like them, you've been removed from your ancestral homeland, cut from your hunting grounds, and forced into a lifestyle that doesn't even remotely resemble how you evolved to live. And now, like them, you live without purpose. And that catastrophic loss of your deep identity is at the very core of our modern existential crisis. The depression and the anxiety that you feel, that's the same depression and anxiety that the animals in the zoo feel, because it all comes from the same source. It's a deep longing for a purpose that you've never even lived, but it's a purpose that lives inside of you nonetheless. And every day that they don't get to live their purpose by hunting the savannah or swimming the open ocean, their depression grows and deepens just like yours. You evolved to be Earth's apex predator, but all due respect, you're a fucking delivery driver, and your brain is very bothered by that. But the empathetic, benevolent, low consciousness do-gooders in our society, they think they're fucking helping us by putting us in captivity. They think they've helped us by freeing us from our responsibility, but all they've done is take from us our God-given purpose, a purpose shared by every animal in nature, passed down and honed over the course of fucking eternity, gone in just a few hundred years. And a human without a purpose? That's us, right now, in modern life. Look, the answers are simple, and I explain them in as few words as possible in my new book, A Psychopath's Guide to Enlightenment. And I call it A Psychopath's Guide to Enlightenment because, well, I am indeed a fucking psychopath. And as a psychopath, I clinically don't give a fuck. And ironically, that has led me to a very deep understanding of the causes of human suffering. Because as it turns out, when you look at life without a lot of emotion, different patterns start to emerge. And that's what this book is about. It's information from the other side. Psychopaths go far in life because they don't follow society's rules. Because after all, society's rules are just society's rules. They're not, the laws of nature or anything. They're arbitrary and they're constantly shifting, and they really only need to be respected to the extent that you don't go to jail and lose your freedom for breaking them. As a psychopath, I've never been afraid to burn bridges or walk away from careers or relationships that most sane people would find truly fucking unthinkable. And you know what's happened to me as a result of all that? Fucking nothing. I'm the happiest person I know. I'm married to the literal woman of my dreams, and everybody likes me. So I've decided, for money, to expose myself and report back to you with information from the other side, to help you see the world from a different perspective, and hopefully help you make the most out of your one short life. 60 pages of insight from insanity, and a way out of this fucked up herd and all of its weak, dysfunctional, and hypocritical leadership. It's a goddamn philosophical masterpiece for the price of a t-shirt. A Psychopath's Guide to Enlightenment by me, Blair Black, available only at my website, psychopathsguidetoenlightenment.com.